Hi, I'm Julia from doyogawithme.com. This is Postnatal Pilates, rebuilding the core, because that is so important after you've given birth. Enjoy. All right, rebuilding the core. Take everything easy because we all have different experiences and we just really want to listen to our bodies and how our abdomen is feeling and how the pelvic floor is feeling, and definitely what your doctor and your healthcare providers have recommended for you. So take these one step at a time and take breaks as you need. We will start to rebuild the core. So we're going to start on our backs. We come to lie down with our knees bent, so that we can get right into focusing on the pelvic floor here. Feet are in parallel and knees are hip distance apart. You might rest your hands on your belly just so that you can feel the low abdomen area. Feel your tailbone dropping down into the mat. There's a very gentle low hover under your low back, kind of as if there was a little grape there. So the neutral spine. Ribs are relaxed on your body, your shoulders are relaxed, your throat and your neck area is relaxed. Taking a couple of breaths here, nice big inhale. Maybe feel your tummy rising underneath your hands, nice full exhale. With a Pilates breath, we'll breathe in through the nose and out through your mouth. And it's a little bit of a forceful breath, as if you're blowing out birthday candles or as if you're blowing a feather up or across the room. So practicing that's going to help to engage the core right away. Now, next time you exhale, I want you to think about gently lifting up, drawing in through the pelvic floor. Try to bring your awareness right down there, and then inhale to release and let go. And we're doing all of this without moving the bony structure of our body, so it's just those low stabilizing muscles within and around the pelvis. Moving with your breath, the exhale to draw up and in, and the inhale to release. Working on especially that three parts of our pelvic floor. So the back, as if you were stopping the pass of gas, squeezing there gently, or as if you're kind of drawing a raisin up. And then the middle portion, the vagina, so you're pulling up and in. And then the front portion, the urethra, as if you're lifting a raisin there too. So you're just drawing up and in. Those three parts, trying to add them and layer them on together. If you're very early on, you've given birth recently, and it's very difficult for you to feel any sensation there, don't worry. Just bring your awareness down there, practicing this, practicing the idea of engaging there, and eventually those neural connections will start to happen. You'll start to strengthen those muscles. Where the mind goes, the energy flows. Now we'll start to bring the transversus abdominis, so more of our stabilizers in with these pelvic floor lifts. Next time you exhale, I want you to think about dropping down that space right below your navel. Your hips are gently gliding in together, and then the space between your ribs and your hips is shortening a little bit. Inhale, you're going to lengthen out. So now we're moving towards an imprint and release. So as you exhale, drawing first up through the pelvic floor, then that space below the navel drops in. Everything is drawing inwards, and then inhale to release. So very, very gentle rocking here. Exhaling. Try not to take any of that into your neck or your shoulders. We want to focus all of our energy here down on the lower part of the core, and release. We'll go a little more into some hip rolls, hip rocking. So next time you'll feel your low back, especially pressing down, and then inhaling to release. As much as you can, get the abdominals engaged to help you flatten out. They're scooping downwards, and then inhale to release. So a couple more like this. We'll take that movement even farther now, going into a hip roll. So first starting with that tuck under, keep tucking under as you start to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Take one inhale here at the top. Notice that your ribs and your hips are in line and they're not poofing out here, so keeping in line. And then exhale to roll down one vertebra at a time. Chest moves away from your chin. Coming back to that neutral spine as you inhale, release the pelvic floor. Exhale, draw up on the pelvic floor first, tuck under. Feel the abdomen engaged as much as you can. It's kind of like there's a corset wrapping around your whole midsection. And then exhale to roll yourself back down. We'll do one more hip roll like this. Inhale, lengthening, exhale. Draw in. It's kind of like you're sucking up a milkshake. Everything is drawing up and inwards here. And those ribs stay on your body nice and flat. and then roll yourself back down. Going to go a little bit more into strengthening those low-level stabilizers. So find your imprint once more, press your low back into the mat. Watch that you're not engaging your glutes on the backside or pressing through your heels and starting to lift up here. We want to get that as much as you can through the core. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to think about dropping down even more. So feel the belly button dropping down towards the spine. Big inhale, exhale, scoop it down even more. So, and that idea of kind of sucking up a milkshake, that thick milkshake, we're getting rid of any air, bubbles, or anything in the abdomen, drawing it inwards and down. And then let's slowly let that all go. Release. We'll do that one more time, this full engagement. Exhale. Low back is pressing down towards the mat. Belly button's dropping down. So continue to breathe on each exhale, engage a little bit more. You can think about these layers like the layers of an onion are just continuing to engage. These fibers are drawing in towards you. And this is going to help to rebuild the core, and especially if you had any separation through rectus diastasis here, going to help to start to knit those fibers back together. One more inhale here. And then exhale, let's slowly let that go. Woo. Come to your neutral spine, and then we're just going to bring our arms up overhead. Inhale, and then exhale, sweep them straight back down by your sides. Now we're watching the upper abdominals here. So as you come up, you shouldn't be arching your back and popping your ribs here. We want to keep them connected to the core. Keep them connected as your arms come down. Same idea that the bony structure doesn't move here except for your arms and your shoulders. And the abdomen, the core stays connected. Beautiful. A little bit of upper body work if that's feeling okay for you. If it's not, stay with some pelvic floor work or just take a little break. But if it's feeling okay with you to curl up, we're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to lift your head off the mat, reach your arms long. You're going to look towards your pubic bone or just through your legs here. Keep anchoring your tailbone down. Keep trying to flatten out your belly. So watch that rectus diastasis or the rectus muscles don't over engage here and they start to poof up like a loaf of bread. Superficial muscles, not that great for functioning and not that great for stabilizing your back. One more inhale here. Let's exhale to lower back down. So we'll do that 2 more times. If it feels better for you to have your hands behind your ears for a little bit of support for your neck, you can definitely curl up that way. Keep your feet on the mat at this point. We don't want to go too far yet while we're just engaging these early muscles. So another breath here, and then exhale to roll down. One more time. Again, your choice with the arms. Rolling up, reaching, try to slide your ribs towards your hips. Try to keep flattening out through the tummy. Another inhale here, and then exhale to roll yourself down. Keeping your shoulder blades nice and flat on the mat. I'm going to go for a little bit more challenging through the pelvis. So we're going to take this in stages. Just follow along and stop where you need to stop. Take a break where you need to take a break. We're going to inhale to prepare and then exhale to lift one leg off the mat. Tabletop position so that leg doesn't have to come too high. And then inhale to lower it back down. Exhale the other side. So this is a marching kind of movement. And we're starting to resist through the core any kind of twisting or dropping down of the pelvis. We really want to try and keep that nice and stable here as we move side to side. Working with your breath. Now, if that feels okay for you, you might start with your legs in tabletop instead. And this time it would be a toe tap down and then bring it back up. Toe tap down and then bring it back up. Watch again here while you're moving, staying connected with your breath, that the integrity of your core is not being compromised. You're not helping yourself out if you're kind of wobbling and flopping all over the place here. That is not connecting to those low abdominals, and you could risk harming yourself rather than helping to build yourself up. So take it slow, take it easy, just notice how you're feeling. One more for each of those. If your feet are off the mat, we'll lower both of them down. Going into a bent knee fall out, one knee comes out to the side gently, and then we bring it back in. Other side. Now our goal as we do this, you can even take a peek at your knees, is to keep the opposite leg stable in line with your hip as the other one opens out to the side. If it is wobbling or falling with it, we need to think more about engaging the core to keep our pelvis really level. We also need to think about maybe not going as far in our range of motion. This is not about how far you can take your knee out. In fact, for most of us, our knees don't go that far out, even if you had the most flexible muscles. The bones wouldn't allow us to. So rather, focus again on that proper posture and really on keeping connected through the abdomen, through the pelvic floor as you're moving gently side to side. One more, both sides. Great work. Okay, so take a moment, a little reach, a little stretch out as you need. We'll be coming up from here, so just slowly start to roll yourself over, help yourself up. And we're coming to all fours. So hands will be underneath your shoulders. You could always make fists with your hands if your wrists are feeling tender, especially here when we have young kiddos. Those wrists can be quite sore. So a few different options for your wrist. Knees are right underneath your hips here. And we're just, again, checking in with and going into that neutral spine. So we don't want to be dropping our bellies out, lifting our tails. We also don't want to be tucking our tails under and rounding here. We're finding a nice flat back. Shoulders gently glide away from your ears. Back of the neck is really staying long. You're lifting up the ceiling with the back of your head, and we're just holding that pose there. We're going to find our pelvic floor again here momentarily. So exhaling, just draw in through the pelvic floor. You might even engage the low TA, transversus abdominis, and feel those low abdominals just hug in a little bit gently. And then inhale and release. Exhale, hug in. And inhale to release. Moving into our cat and cow. So more movement, a broader movement as we exhale to tuck under, lift your belly button up, drop your head down. And then inhale, feel your shoulder blades sliding down your back, lift your head, pull your chest forward, lift your tail. Exhale, try to find the abdomen to initiate that movement. So not just about flopping back and forth here. It's about really finding that control through your core to deliberately move your spine, articulating one vertebra at a time. Exhaling to round through. All right, and starting to lengthen out into that neutral spine, flat back position once more. So again, as always, engaging through the TA, through the lower abdominals before you start to move. And then we're lifting one leg out behind us. Now you could stay with just one leg out and move there, or you can go with the opposite arm, or just stay with the arms, whatever feels best for you today. Again, it's all about staying stable through the core and supporting you here. We're going to inhale to reach out long, and then exhale to bring that hand and knee underneath us. Or just knee, or just hand, depending on what you're doing. Inhaling to reach out on the other side, nice and long, and exhale to bring it in. Now, as much as you can, as you move side to side, try to really keep the integrity and the quietness across your core and across your back. So if you were balancing, let's say a cup of nice black warm coffee on your back and there was white carpet underneath you, you're wobbling and it were to spill all over the place, you might be a little bit sad about that, especially if you're sleep deprived these days. So try to keep your back as flat as possible and as still as possible so that you don't spill that coffee, you don't spill anything that might be balancing on your back. If you'd like a little more challenge here, you could sweep arm and leg out to the side and then bring it back. We'll just do a set of 5 to one side, bending the knee in and to the side as you do that. Now that's going to be much more work on the abdomen, much more work through the shoulders, really working with your breath as you do that. We'll go to the other side, or you could stay with those leg lifts or just the arm lifts, whatever feels best for you. Exhaling and inhaling to reach. When you come back to the central position, just think as much as you can about that neutral spine, about finding proper alignment, and that's where we want to go. That's the most important part here. Let everything go. Let's take a moment, just a gentle round out of the back. Couple of deep breaths while you're here. And then we'll come back up to all fours. Tuck your toes under here. You're going to go into a little bit of a bear hold and lift. So really supporting yourself through the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades gently gliding down your back. Back of the neck stays long here, and we're going to lift and hover your knees off the mat. Take a big breath here, and then slowly lower back down. Inhale to prepare. Again, stay connected through the core, and then exhale to lift and hover. Length right out the top of your head, away from your tail. Exhale to lower. One more time, big breath, lifting. Now, if you're staying here, you'd like more of a challenge still, the core is still feeling okay, you may try lifting one foot off the floor and then the other. Otherwise, you're coming back down to the mat and maybe taking a little break. Just alternating side to side, one more time, both sides. Really drawing up and in through the tummy. Really working and staying with your breath, lowering all the way down. We'll come into a down dog from here for a stretch. So just lifting your tail up and back. You might sway your hips a little bit side to side. You might walk out the dog, bending one knee and then the other. Just notice what feels best for you right now at this moment. Ooh. And then coming forward, we're coming into a supported side plank from here. So taking your hips out, one nice long line. We're going to reach that top leg away from us in a straight line as well. Top hand could be on your hip here, or it could be up at your forehead, whatever feels best. We're just going to do some simple leg lifts here. So it's an inhale to prepare, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. Keep those glutes turned on here so that your hips don't start to hinge back. Keep, again, the bottom waist lifting, the tummy hugged in. And think about the top of the head reaching long away from those back toes as you're reaching those toes long away from you. We'll do two more here. Exhaling, inhaling to lower. Beauty. Okay, let's go to the other side. We are almost there. As always, as it starts to get too much for you, and you'll be able to build up your endurance as your pelvic floor strengthens, as your core strengthens, coming off of delivery and off of being pregnant. So not to worry there. Take those breaks as you need. Exhale, lift, inhale to lower. Try not to look down towards your toes here. Try to stay looking straight ahead. So you've got this, again, this long line through your body, neutral spine, even as we're here on a diagonal. Breathing. Two more to go. Great. So coming down all the way onto your side, knees can be bent. Hand is supporting your head. So a little bit of a release and a stretch through the core here. Top arm is reaching out in front of you. You could have a pillow under your head and have the other arm out as well. But if you don't have the pillow, just have your hand under your head here. We're going to inhale to reach the top arm up and exhale to stretch it back. Reach long through those fingertips as you inhale again, and then draw in the core to help move your rib cage back to the starting position. Inhale to reach up, exhale to reach long. Inhale to hold, and exhale, draw yourself over. So we'll do that one more time. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, breathe, opening up the pecs and across the chest. And draw yourself over. Great. Let's roll right on over to the other side. We'll do that same twist on the other side. Again, those knees bent at the 90-degree angle. Support yourself as you need. Top arm reaching out. We're going to inhale the top arm up. Exhale to reach it back. Hold and reach long. And then draw yourself all the way over. Try to keep it soft around your shoulders, again, around the throat and around the jaw. Just working to breathe into the front of your chest and around the shoulders. Using that exhale to engage the core, the pelvic floor. Another inhale here. Last one to exhale, draw yourself all the way over. Lying on your back to finish up and just stretch for a moment. I'm going to take one of our knees anyways, bend it out to the side, flex the foot over. We're going into thread the needle or a Faber stretch here. So you could bring your knees in towards you, maybe have your hands behind your thigh. If that doesn't feel good, then you could just have your hands resting here. Let your thighs really relax, open, and release. Wherever you are, try to let your tailbone drop more down towards the floor. Watch what's going on around your neck. You might tuck your chin in a little bit to lengthen through the back of your neck. And then just take a couple of deep breaths here. You might do some circles with that bottom ankle. So a little bit of a stretch through the glutes as they are so connected to what goes on through the hips and through the core. They can get quite tight as we're sitting, holding babies for many hours a day, it seems like. We will release and we'll go to the other side. Again, just taking a moment to see how this side feels. Different sides, we could have past injury, traumas, anything, whatever's happening there. And then just breathe. Feel your pelvis really heavy. You can soften and relax your breath, so no more Pilates breath here, just back to a more neutral, natural, calm breath. If you'd like to do some circles through the ankles. And you might just feel like going to sleep here. If you have the opportunity, it might be a great thing to do. Otherwise, you're going to release and we're coming back up to a seated position. We are all done for today. Well, continuing to rebuild the core. You just have to keep at it every day, those small movements and the pelvic floor. Thank you.